Okay, I think we have enough people on now. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Rory Kump. I'm a Territory Account Manager at Ives Equipment. I'll be your host today. This is our webinar presentation on Siemens Positioners for All Occasions. I'm joined by my colleagues Rick McCurry and Dan Fitzgerald, and our contact info will be at the end of the presentation. Also, we will be doing a Q&A at the end of the presentation. What I would have everyone do, since I have everyone muted, is there is a toolbar in the bottom middle of your screen, and to the right of the hand icon, there is an icon that says Show Conversation. That opens up a chat window. What I would have everyone do is, during the presentation, type any of your questions into that chat, and I will make sure to log them so that we can answer them during the Q&A. I've found that during Q&A sessions, if we unmute everyone, it gets a little chaotic. So I would prefer doing it via chat. After the presentation, we will send a follow-up email with any additional information. We will answer any questions that maybe we aren't able to answer today. And we can also send the presentation slides. I think I've covered everything. So Dan, if you want to unmute and start, we're ready.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today, and thanks for the intro, Rory. Again, I'm Dan Fitzgerald, Ives Equipment, and without further ado here, here's the agenda. So today we're covering a summary of Siemens' complete valve positioner offering. And for some of you, this might be a bit of an intro to the new PS100 positioner. We still have all the pneumatic workhorses of the old and more products line, as well as the more sophisticated electro-pneumatic options in the PS2 and the new PS100 platforms. What we hope to accomplish today is basically just giving you guys a complete picture of what Siemens offers, so that you can better select the right solution for your application. You'll see that each positioner that we're showcasing today has its purpose, so it's really about zeroing in on what best fits your application. Ives Equipment has over 60 years of experience in valve automation, so we're here to help make that selection with you guys. And of course, we're also here to help you choose the right valve and valve options, actuators, and accessories that are best suited to help you run your process efficiently. So Siemens' three biggest players in the valve positioner portfolio consist of the 760 series pneumatic and electro-pneumatic positioner, the 760P and E respectively, which you see in the center, the PS100 next generation basic digital positioner, which is on the left, and the sophisticated, widely used across all industries PS2 digital positioner, which obviously is down on the right side. We'll cover the basics of all three and give comparisons of the features and benefits of each, with the emphasis on moving into the digital platform. So starting with the pneumatic positioners, More Products, an industry leader in pneumatic control and process instrumentation, was acquired by Siemens Automation in early 2000. The acquisition further strengthened Siemens' position in the process control industry. More Products brought with it decades of experience that included world-class valve positioning technology. This slide gives a summary of the types of applications that More and Siemens developed over the years with their standard pneumatic offering. The models 73, 74, and 760P are analog-based valve positioners that offer rugged and reliable position control for many different types of pneumatic actuators. And they're all still widely used today. Siemens has three offerings for the I2P electro-pneumatic valve positioning. From left to right, you got the Siemens 760E, which has been around for decades. It's still used in applications where a beacon position indicator is needed. It's a positioner that's been standardized on by OEMs around the country, and it's proven to be robust. As you'll notice in the slides to come, though, it is cumbersome to commission, and you're basically running blind as far as any kind of valve diagnostics. And next up on the slide in the middle is the newest positioner, Siemens PS100. It's a smart digital positioner and is incredibly easy to set up with the single button initialization and easy to read display and menus, which we'll walk through a little later. And then finally, the PS2 on the right. This is the positioner that Siemens is known for, and it's used across all industries all over the globe. Like the 760E, the PS2 has also been standardized at numerous OEMs as their smart digital valve positioner offering. Comes in a variety of options, it can go in any environment, has the ability for remote installations, and it has unmatched diagnostic capabilities that can significantly extend the life of your valve and maintain a higher efficiency in your process. So now we're just going to run through quickly some of the different configuration options for those three valve positioners that we just that I just kind of covered here. One of the main features that keeps the 760 alive and well in the industry is the beacon style position indicator, which we mentioned earlier. My colleagues at Ives can attest to the fact that customers still choose the 760 so that they can see from a distance if the valve is open or closed. Siemens has looked at options for a visual indication on their digital platforms, and the new PS100 has an LED light indicator for open, green, and closed, red. The PS2 does not have a visual position indicator. We've looked at various mechanical options, but nothing standardized. But we would be happy to talk one-on-one with you guys either during the Q&A or offline after the webinar if you'd like to know more. All positioners can come as single air stroke or spring stroke or double acting air on both valve strokes. Typically, the difference has to do with the valve block on the positioner. And one advantage the 760 has is that you can set it up for single or double acting depending upon how you pipe it. The new digital positioners need to be selected as either single or double acting up front because it affects the airflow and therefore the type of piezo block. We'll talk about piezo block technology a little bit later. Also, all models do come with or without gauges, which are another nice diagnostic feature. Valve characteristics and whether the valve is linear or rotary are handled much differently from the 760 to the digital solutions. The 760 is a mechanical device in that there's cams, linkages that need to be added or removed or adjusted in order to get the characteristics that you need. In the 760, a bit of caution has to be taken when ordering since the positioner is set up quite differently depending upon the application. The PS100 and PS2 positioners handle most of the setup directly through the menu system, but there are still mechanical considerations when installing on a linear versus rotary valve, and that's all in the mounting kit selection. Siemens positioners have been installed on hundreds, if not thousands, of different valves. They have mounting kits and hardware available to install on just about every valve, any manufacturer. If you don't know where your valve is positioned, you just have to take it on faith that it's where you told it to be. Many of us think that positioner feedback is mandatory, but of course that's not everyone's philosophy. Whether it's important to you or not, all three positioners options from Siemens have it. The PS100 has it built in, but it must be selected when ordered. And the 760 and PS2 have it as optional boards, and these boards can be retrofitted in the field. Limit switches are another way to ensure your valve is where you want it to be, but they require more setup than positioner feedback, and they're a discrete signal. That being said, the 760 and PS2 have these options, but this is where the PS100, in an attempt to simplify the platform and keep it compact, does not have a limit switch option. The vision here is to have the PS100 move into the future of valve positioning, which, in our opinion, uses continuous position feedback. Digital I/O can only be found in the PS100 and PS2. Digital inputs can be used as an override remotely, and digital outputs can be set up in many ways, but an example would be for indication of changes in valve characteristics from the diagnostic functions of the positioner. In other words, A digital out can indicate that the valve is not responding as expected, which could indicate unpredicted wear or a blockage and that maintenance is required. Please note that you do need to specify digital I/O when ordering the PS100. The PS2 can be ordered after the fact as a retrofit. Non-contacting sensors are less susceptible to vibration than water hammer. The 760 is not available with this feature. The PS100 has it as its standard design. And again, it is available as an option on the PS2. Remote positioning can be invaluable if you're dealing with very high levels of vibration, or if your valve is installed in a difficult or hazardous location for a technician or operator to get to access. This option's only. I'm sorry.
I think you're one slide ahead.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that, guys. So I was just talking about the non-contacting sensors, and obviously I was off. How long have I been off?
It was about 3 slides, 3 or 4.
Sorry about that, guys.
I apologize. I should have chimed in earlier. Apologies.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I must have pressed the button too fast. So again, I just went through this, but non-contacting sensors are less susceptible to vibration and water hammer. 760 don't have the option. Standard with the PS100, and it's available as an option on the PS2. Sorry for any confusion, guys. Thanks for jumping in. Sorry. So remote detection. Remote positioning can be invaluable if you're dealing with high levels of vibration, or if your valve is installed in difficult or hazardous locations that are tough for a technician or operator to get access. This option is only available in the PS2, which makes it stand out as the only solution in certain applications. Remote positioning can also be an interesting way to get remote indication of valve position, as mentioned earlier with the beacon discussion. Skid manufacturers can install the remote positioner housing as a 19-inch rack mount in their control panel so that they can walk up and see where the valve is, even if it's installed within a web of piping and other instruments. Siemens has such a long history, varied industry, all sorts of different application exposures, so they're almost unmatched in the variety of approvals on all their instruments. And positioners are no exception. You'll find most of the approvals on the PS2. PS100 is still very new, and FM approvals are pending. So currently, we're looking at the end of this year, but we'd hazard a guess with everything going on with COVID-19. The time frame may slip into the first quarter of 2021. We'll certainly keep you guys posted on that. Housing options are quite different between the 3 major positioners. You get what you get with the 760, and that's a coated aluminum NEMA 4X housing. The PS100 and PS2 have several options, with the PS2 having the most variety with materials of construction, and also that it has a flame-proof option. The PS100 is more simple in design, and that carries over into the enclosure options. It has enough options to be suitable in the environments it's expected to see, and for OEM applications, the simplicity and small footprint is definitely a benefit. Valve accessories have decreased in size as the platforms have moved to digital. This includes the volume booster, and from this slide you can see how drastic the footprint can be reduced. Just notice that the image on the slide under the 760 heading is actually a PS2. Please note that this overall setup in the picture is the only option for a 760 positioner. Volume boosting is the expanding of the actuator medium so that larger actuators can be stroked at speeds comparable to their smaller volume counterparts. Having the capability to move volume in less time gives the positioner a much more universal capability. Valve actuators can range in size from a lunchbox to a compact car, and having a positioner that can handle that range of applications is a huge benefit, especially considering how many you have to keep on the shelf. You can probably then imagine that having a PS100 and a handful of configurations saves space and money when it comes to inventory. So the next 3 slides are meant to visually show you how different the commissioning process is from the 760 to the PS2 to the PS100. So we're going to just kind of run through feature comparison. So this slide in particular is meant to be hard on the eyes. What we're showing is the actual commissioning process of a 760 positioner. To be fair, this is just what it took when this generation of positioner was most popular. However, as we move into the 21st century and go digital, this eye chart of an instruction manual becomes a thing of the past. So moving on to the PS2, you can already see that it's much simpler. There's some mechanical manipulations, but it's mostly set up via an auto initialization process selected from the configuration menu. Once you hit start on the initialization, it's just a matter of minutes until the positioner familiarizes itself with every aspect of the valve and reassures you that it's ready to go. And then finally, we arrive at the PS100 commissioning. It might be harder to program the clock on your coffee maker than commission this positioner. This slide says it all: one button initialization. The last several slides have culminated in this initialization time comparison. The PS2 is half the time of the 760, and the PS100 is half the time of the PS2. Kind of out of order in terms of the time comparison, I suppose, but longest is the 760 on the left, PS2 on the right is 10 minutes. We're calling PS100 5 minutes, one button. That being said, we made sure to cover the comparisons of each positioner from a functionality standpoint because at the end of the day, initialization definitely isn't everything. There are many more things to consider when selecting a positioner for your application. So all positioners use compressed air to move the valve to a new position. Positioners that use a spool design or pneumatic relay have a constant bleed of air even when the valve is stationary. This bleed air is lost air. A typical spool or pneumatic relay design will cost over $200 a year in lost compressed air. The PS100 and PS2 use a piezoelectric valve that offers a zero bleed tight seal when the valve is in a stationary position. The cost of compressed air has gotten drastically more expensive from year to year, and having a positioner that barely whispers compared to other positioners that are screaming the whole time can really get the accountants to sit up and notice. When you have a plant with hundreds of automated valves, you can imagine how much savings you can realize. We have a cost of air tool that we'd be happy to share with anyone that has any interest in reducing the compressed air usage and costs. Along with reduced air consumption, the piezoelectric design offers more precise control of the valve. There'll be less overshooting and valve hunting. This provides better process control and less wear and tear on the valve. So, why choose the PS2? Got hazardous area approvals with the explosion-proof installation options. Digitalization solutions. So there's smart monitoring apps available, which we can, I mentioned earlier, we can talk about them later with you guys. Just went through the cost of compressed air. So you've got the reduced air consumption, microprocessor, you've got precise control and adaptability, less variance than analog positioners. So simplified stock for OEMs and advanced diagnostics. And I'd like to expand on the advanced diagnostics at this point. The PS2 can monitor multiple parameters that can be used to track the health and functionality of the valve. These indicators can help find valve problems before they become a failure that could shut down a process. On the other hand, these same parameters could indicate that valves are being serviced too frequently. For facilities that have a lot of control valves, Siemens now has a valve monitoring app that can make tracking valve life and maintenance easier. And again, we'd like to talk to you guys more about that if any of you guys are interested. For now, I'll move on. Why choose the PS2? The PS100 lacks the expanded diagnostics of the PS2. Or I'm sorry, why choose the PS100? Did I say PS2? I think I did. The PS100 lacks the advanced diagnostics of the PS2, but provides the precise control and error savings of the piezoelectric design. The simple and easy programming with one-button initialization. It's all in a cost-effective package. So for any high-volume users to OEMs, we can do competitive pricing, which we can talk about later. Again, one-button initialization. And again, reduced air consumption as well. So that cost of compressed air slide, does apply to the PS100 as well as the PS2. We've got many resources available to help you guys make the selection and implementation of a Siemens positioner easy and successful. If you'd like any literature, let us know. The contact information listed here is just for the group of three of us that were involved in the presentation. You heard from Rory in the intro. He handles Lehigh Valley. I'm Dan Fitzgerald. I'm South Jersey and Delaware. And Rick McCurry as well. He helped put these slides together, and he's going to be available for the Q&A here in just a moment. But other than the three of us, Ives has an excellent group of sales and application specialists from northeastern Pennsylvania all the way down through Virginia. We're here to help you guys with your specific requirements. The right positioner, the right options, and the right mounting hardware to improve your control capabilities with any valve. That's all I've got. So we're going to open this up to questions. So I'm going to be here to answer any questions you guys have, as well as Rick and Rory.
John Katza asks, what's the rough cost difference between PS100 and PS2?
Thank you for the question, John. Let's see. I guess depending on the option, it was the PS2 maybe 30% more than the PS100. Rick, do you have any?
Yeah, Roy, I'd say you're pretty close with that. It really depends on the option cards that are added to it. There is a pretty significant difference between the PS100 and the PS2. But really, that is all those diagnostic functions that you have. So if you're looking at being able to monitor the life of your valve, it really is well worth stepping up to the PS2. But if you have a basic application and you don't need all those diagnostics, the PS100 is a great value. The PS100 is actually more competitive price-wise with the 760 positioner, especially in the OEM applications. We can be where you're talking about multiple units. We can really be competitive with that PS100. What I'd suggest is if you have an application that you talk to your local support, or you could talk to one of us, and we could put together quotations for both. But really look at what is the best fit for your application.
Yeah, John, I would Gary Poremski, I think, is your guide. I'm sure you know Gary. So yeah, reach out to him and just give him the models that that you're currently using. So I think you guys do use PS2s, if I remember, when I was inside sales. Yeah, we can kind of do a comparison for you guys. Any other questions?
No, thanks, guys. Well done.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for attending, and we will send that email out. Thank you.